Milwaukee born, Wisconsin bred, and he has his home team seeing red. Serving as a bodyguard for Pujols, seems to be right on the mark. Well, the Milwaukee Brewers have a tall task tonight. The St. Louis Cardinals in town as Milwaukee looks to get that record to a winning mark again and get higher in that wild card race against the National League's best. We're certainly glad you're here with us at Miller Park. My name is Darren Sutton. He is Bill Schroeder. And a win is pending, or so we all hope, against these St. Louis Cardinals. It's very interesting. When you look at Mark Grudzielanek, who we saw a moment ago coming on the air, you think of Scott Rowland. Jim Edmonds is not playing tonight. Larry Walker not playing. So you can pitch around Albert Pujols. But right now, Grudzielanek is as hot as any Cardinal.
Well, and if you look at yesterday's ball game, you mentioned Rowland and Walker on the disabled list. You don't pitch to Pujols or Edmonds. Combined, those two guys walked 6 times. So the Brewers make a concerted effort not to throw those guys strikes. Make somebody else beat you, they say. Well, it's Mark Grudzielanek. He drove in 5 runs in yesterday's ball game, knocking the ball all over the ballpark. Home runs, doubles, singles, 5 RBIs. This is a guy that rises to the occasion. The St. Louis Cardinals team banged up a little bit, but everybody up and down that order getting it done.
He's a big reason they are where they are here in the second half. He's having a huge second half. This year against the Brewers, he's hitting .366 with 11 RBIs, and we asked him, sometimes is it just as simple as that Brewers name across the jersey?
You're going to have those kind of years sometimes where you play, you know, extremely well against certain teams, and it might be to set up the starting pitching, and something just, you just see something, and you know, I don't know, because in past I didn't really have that great of series here in Milwaukee, and I didn't play that well in front of my family and relatives. So it's something that I think this year is just one of those things that just happened, and you know, I enjoy coming home, I enjoy seeing the family, and I enjoy playing against Milwaukee. They're a competitive team, and they're having a great year this year. So again, it's just one of those things that happens.
Very complimentary of the Milwaukee Brewers. One of the reasons they're pitching Doug Davis on the mound tonight. It wasn't Doug last time in New York. Bill, 7 walks. Over his last 8 or 9 starts, though, he hasn't gotten a win, but he's pitched a little better than that.
No, yeah, he has pitched well enough to win. The bullpen has blown the form at times. The offense really hasn't been there at times, but his last start, it was very hot at Shea Stadium. He really couldn't get a good grip on the baseball and walked 7 in 3 2/3 innings. You can't afford to walk batters. The Brewers walked, you know, those guys yesterday. They walked Pujols and Edmonds 6 times. Can't do that tonight.
Asked Ned Yost about the wild card in the postseason. He says, we don't talk about those things. As a matter of fact, he takes it one day at a time. Viewers, and we know where they're satisfied. Bill fills them up each night. A little bit of food, a little bit of fun, and a little bit of baseball. We're certainly glad you're with us. Monitoring the St. Louis Cardinals, more than 2,000 victories. A legend really in the making. Manager Tony La Russa, future Hall of Famer. Let's take a look at his starting lineup tonight. Some new names for sure, but one big name in the middle, and that's Mark Grudzielanek. It's Eckstein, Taguchi, and Albert, but it's Grudzielanek, Scott Seabold, John Rodriguez, Hector Luna, Mike Mahoney, Anthony Reyes. We'll talk about him more. Our GMC starting lineup against the 29-year-old left-hander, Doug Davis.
Well, it's been a long time, and Doug Davis still looking for win number 10. He's pitched fairly well for a guy that has not been able to get to that double digits in wins. You can see his numbers as we take a look at our advanced pain scouting report. He's looking for win number 10 for the 9th time, and he's only allowed less than 3 runs in that span since his last win. The Reds, he's seeing red. The St. Louis Cardinals have been rough on him, 0-2, at 8.03 ERA, and Albert Pujols has worn him out this year.
Yeah, Pujols with big numbers. Strike 1 to David Eckstein. 269, 5 home runs, 38 RBIs. Out of the University of Florida, where he walked on David Eckstein. And he continues, I guess you could simply say, to just walk on to every program. He's walked on in the minors, and he walks on in the big leagues all the way to the All-Star game. 8-4 victory for the Cardinals last night as Davis misses high. 2 balls and 1 strike to count on David.
Now, ordinarily, when you control the top of the order, you're going to have some good success, but it was the bottom of the Cardinals' order in yesterday's ball game that drove in all the runs. Brewers really making a concerted effort to pitch around the big guns. It's the other guys that got it done.
3-1 the count on Eckstein. He has walked 44 times this year, and he has only struck out 30 times. He makes contact. Most of you know that by now. Certainly a self-made player as he bunts a beauty. Here comes Brandon. There, fire.
Well done, Russell Branyan. Not very often you're going to see a hitter bunt on a 3-1 count, but David Eckstein dropped down to beauty. Branyan playing even with the bag, able to make the play. It's all about getting on base percentage for that leadoff hitter. David Eckstein not able to do it. Nice play, Branyan.
Athleticism for Branyan, certainly for this man. Hardy gets a night off. Billy Hall, the most versatile of all the Brewers, as he rounds out our Rico D. Same outfield we've always seen. Branyan, Weeks, and Overbay in the infield. Chad Moeller catches tonight. Again, another note to keep an eye on, as we have officially reached the, well, I guess you could say the end of the personal catcher, with Moeller catching tonight. Miller will catch tomorrow, and Chad just catching about every 4th or 5th day, period.
Man, nothing wrong with that. Both catchers, Chad Moeller, Damian Miller, certainly capable of catching anybody in that Brewers staff.
So Taguchi drives it into right center field. That one bounds high off the wall. Nice barehanded play by Brady, but a double for the number 2 hitter, So Taguchi.
Yeah, Taguchi, a big problem in the game last night. The bottom half of the order really doing a number on the Brewer pitching staff. Taguchi with 2 base hits, Abraham Nunez with 3, and Gredzelanek, who told you what he did last night. And here he is again, batting in the bottom of the order last year, here at, or I should say last night, and hitting second, driving one off the wall in right field. Hey, another one of those guys that really has picked up the pace and turned it up a notch with some of these big guys on the DL.
Well, you can't argue with this decision in this lineup tonight, and again, we will see, because this ties into what we talked about coming on the air. You can't really allow Albert Pujols to beat you, but the man on deck, Mark Grzelcyk, is at a torrid pace right now.
Yeah, as we talked about on the open tonight, between Pujols and Jim Edmonds, the Brewers walked them 6 times combined, and then Grzelcyk driving in 5 runs.
And the history between Pujols and Davis that you brought up, I'm sure ties into it. Earlier this year, Albert Pujols hit one of 2 home runs that he has hit against Doug Davis.
Yeah, 7 for 14 for Doug Davis lifetime against Albert Pujols. And there you go, into that Brewer bullpen at Busch Stadium. Can't let that guy get it done. You've got to walk him. You have to, put the onus on the other guys in that lineup.
18 intentional walks, most of the National League, because there is no Barry Bonds. Out of Oak Creek Little League, Mark Grzelcyk takes a pitch that misses in. Had an opportunity to sit down with Mark prior to the game today, and as you heard in the open, he said, no, it's not that I'm from Milwaukee and that they are the Brewers. He said, just some years you have the number of a couple of opposing teams. Happens to be Milwaukee this
maybe
year.
It's a scouting report. Maybe it's the way a certain team pitches you and approaches your at-bats. But whatever it was, last night, Grzelcyk all over the breaking ball last night. Brewers got him out 2 times. And both times it was on a fastball, a couple of curveballs and a slider, and he got 5 ribbies.
Totally, completely scouted as Grzelcyk, as you saw just a moment ago. There's a good cut fastball, and it's 1-1. Again for Davis, the high fastball that he will throw when he elevates at times is a 4-seamer straight fastball. That one holds his fingers on the side of the baseball a little bit, and it runs into right-handed pitchers. You'll hear us throughout the night say cutter or cut fastball.
You got to be careful with that 4-seam fastball up to Grzelcyk. He likes the ball upstairs.
Another cut fastball, this one on the outside corner.
Well, I guess if you hit the corners like that, it doesn't matter if it's up and down. I mean, that is that's a good start for Doug Davis. Good to see after he had such bad control problems his last start.
7 walks in New York. It was a blazing day, and he could not stop sweating. He would not use as an excuse, though. Down and in, bounces away from Moeller. He's got no throw. Looked like a cut fastball there, Bill, that just kept diving down and in, and Chad was tied up. Wild pitch.
I don't think Chad thought that ball was going to be down in the dirt, but it ended up. It had some good downward tilt on it, and ball bounced right in front of the glove of Chad Moeller. You can't let that happen. And as a result, you lose the double play opportunity and another man in scoring position. Got to try the best you can, like the Brewers were able to do last night. Get on top of these Cardinals. Make them play catch-up.
Curveball rolled foul, third base line. So we've seen the fastball, the cut fastball, now the curveball. Doug also throws a changeup as well. Opponent's hitting just .240 this year against Doug Davis. He's got a lot of strikeouts, 130. And a pretty high total amongst left-handers in the National League.
Well, good hits to innings pitch ratio, 136 hits in 150 innings. Problem has been the home run ball. He's given up 21 home runs this year.
That's got Seabull waiting on deck. Maybe you pitch a little carefully now to Grizzolonic. I think they will. Fair.
Can't be walking too many guys, though. You load up the bases, everybody becomes a better hitter because you have to throw them strikes. Can't afford to nibble on the corners. Go right after.
Full count, 1 out. Runners on second and third for the Redbirds. Breaking ball rolled out towards second. They'll give that run up for an out, and it's 1-0 St. Louis. Grizzolonic now has 12 RBIs against the Brewers this year, 46 overall.
Man, nice pitch by Doug. It was a curveball, backdoor variety, and Grizzolonic did what he had to do. Ground ball to second base, scoring the run. That's a good pitch, though. Don't want to give in. Don't want to throw him a cookie down the middle. So 6 RBIs for Grizzolonic in the series. 3 and 2, second and third. Very good curveball down in the strike zone, but Grizzolonic able to get the job done and drive in the run.
Scott Seabull takes a pitch that runs inside. Began his career as a member of the New York Yankees. You want to talk about a feel-good story. How about the fact that in the '96 draft there was more than 80 rounds. He was an 88th round pick. And here he is in the big leagues. Picked by the Yankees. And this is his first tour through the major leagues.
John Rodriguez, you've got John Gall, guy on the bench. You've got Seabull, some young players getting an opportunity to get some big league time. Very unusual for a Cardinal ball club. Normally loaded with veterans, but a lot of those are on the DL.
Seabull a couple of years ago was a Brewer. He played in 25 games for then AAA Indianapolis. Hit .235 for Milwaukee in those 25 games. Cut loose by Milwaukee and became a member of the Cardinals. Played on that one, pops it foul, and it's out of play. 88th round.
Well, because you know, 2 veteran outfielders are on a disabled list, he's getting an opportunity here in the big leagues, playing third base. Scott Rowland on the DL, John Gall, outfielder, with Larry Walker and Reggie Sanders DL.
31 home runs in AAA last year. I would imagine that opens some eyes. First huge power year like that for Seabull. And he takes a pitch that is low, and the count is 3-2. Pennsylvania native. He's got Albert Pujols looking down the line at third. Got him away with the fastball. That's the 4-seamer, the straight fastball. Seabull goes down. Double, walk, and a well-placed ground out for Grizzolonic, and St. Louis leads it 1-0. Well, manager Ned Yost looks to Brady Clark, who is just in front of him, trying to get some offense going. Let's take a look at Ned's 9th tonight against the St. Louis Cardinals. Brady Clark right at the top. Then it's Ricky Weeks, Lyle Overbay, Carlos Lee, Jenks, Hall, and Russell the Muscle. Chad Moeller and Doug Davis. Lineup brought to you by GMC. Making his major league debut, he's 23 years old, Anthony Reyes.
Yeah, he's a power pitcher. His numbers down in the minor leagues, very good for the St. Louis Cardinals. 3.44, not a lot of walks. He throws a lot of strikes, this kid. As you mentioned, making his major league debut in only his 2nd professional season. That's amazing.
out of the University of Southern California, where he was a teammate of Mark Pryor's. Let's go through the scouting report.
Yeah, the advanced pain scouting report. We already talked about the fact that in only 2 years in professional baseball, he's a strikeout artist, very good walk to strikeout ratio, and growing pains. He missed half of June with a right shoulder tendonitis, and he's battled that problem since his senior year at USC.
Get on the hands of Brady Clark. When you talk with the folks with the Cardinals, members of their coaching staff, and his catcher, Mike Mahoney, the one thing they talk about is they go back to the spring training appearances for Reyes, and they mention the mechanics. Very, very sound mechanics, and reminds you in his approach, you can't help but compare to that of Mark Pryor.
Yeah, the way he really uses that back leg, he pivots himself on that rubber and drives to home plate. Just like Mark Pryor, they compare him a lot to Pryor, and hopefully, you know, in his case, that he's going to stay a little bit more healthy than Mark Pryor. And that's a pretty good guy to be compared to.
That pitch misses outside. 3-2 the count. They spend all winter together working out. And you mentioned the injuries that he has had to battle. #1 prospect according to Baseball America and the Cardinals organization. High slider, strike 3.
Well, Angel Hernandez already established the fact that that pitch up there is going to be a strike, and what an advantage for the young right-hander. Anthony Reyes, who throws that fastball, it's a power fastball just below the letters. That's not a strike. I mean, most umpires in the major leagues are not going to call that a strike. If he gets that pitch tonight, it could be a long night.
So here is Ricky Weeks. We are told again a fastball, changeup. That's 1 and 2. And then the curveball is a distant third. That last pitch clocked at 84 miles an hour, strike 3 to Brady Clark. Whether it was a bad breaking ball that stayed up or a BP fastball, couldn't tell. And on the outside corner, 0-2. 267 home runs, 23 RBIs for Ricky Weeks. Made his major league debut a couple of years ago against St. Louis. And he pops that one to the right side. Had him reach. That's Hector Luna. And to his right is So Taguchi. Old glover Jim Edmonds out of the lineup tonight. Tony La Russa very smart with resting his players. Does that deliberately. You can see what he's trying to pull off. Rodriguez, Taguchi, Luna in the outfield. Seabold, Eckstein, Grizzolonic, Pujols on the infield. Mahoney does the catching. Again, brought to you by Rico.
Yep, tied for the National League lead in team fielding percentage, the St. Louis Cardinals, along with the Phillies and the Atlanta Braves.
Buckethead Brigade alive and well now for Lyle Overbay. Good crowd out there tonight in the denim blue shirts, trying to liven up this ballpark. On the outside corner, the count is 1-1.
Yeah, they were charged up out there before the ball game. We always go out there, greet the Buckethead Brigaders. Very warm out there tonight, and they're fired up.
Changeup. Boy, what a good pitch. It's fouled off.
And you see that changeup going down and away from Lyle. And, you know, ordinarily, a guy making his major league debut, none of the Brewers have seen too much of him, if at all. Usually advantage pitcher, at least the first time through the order. See that changeup grip. He drops down a little bit, going away from Lyle.
94 miles an hour. Our gun had it at 96. Say this already, Bill. His velocity on the fastball up and down a bit, which is okay.
Well, once he starts relaxing, I think that velocity is going to go up. You figure the first couple of hitters a little bit nervous. Why wouldn't you be?
The 1-2. Again, 94. Fouled into the seats one more time.
Man, as you start to relax, your mechanics improve. You're a little bit looser, and all of a sudden you you find that velocity. Didn't have it the first couple of hitters.
Fastball misses outside. It's what Mike Maddox has preached to guys like Dan Kolb and Derek Turnbow. Throw it 90–95%. Let adrenaline take you the rest of the way, and he's doing that. There's an off-speed pitch, rolled fair. Pujols looks to Reyes covering. Didn't seem nervous at all. The Brewers are sat down 1-2-3. Solonic, the first RBI. He is from Milwaukee. He has hit Milwaukee very well, and he respects the Milwaukee Brewers and their direction.
They have a lot of young talent. I mean, the bullpen, the closer, you know, and they have the core. They have the solid, the Lees, the Jenkins, and it just weeks at second now. He's up and coming. Their shortstop's young. I mean, they have a lot of potential here to make some good things happen, and we'll see if that happens here.
Rodriguez swings right over the top of that one. 1-1 now. Mike Grudzielanek doesn't say that, folks, because he's from here and because he's trying to be nice. He shares the view of almost every opposing player.
Well, he's been on a fair amount of ball clubs. I mean, Grudzielanek with the Expos, he was with the Dodgers, the Cubs, now the St. Louis Cardinals. So he's seen a lot of teams at varying levels of degrees of success. And, you know, some mature teams, some guys with teams with some veteran players, and a combination of the two. So, yeah, he's seen it. He's been around a long time.
John Rodriguez, 71 Major League at-bats to start his career, 22 hits in that time. As he takes high, the count is 3-1. Like Siebold, who ended the last inning, a Yankee farmhand who bounced to a couple of organizations, moved to Cleveland. And with the Cardinals, because of the Reggie Sanders injury, he gets a chance. 3-2 the count.
And Tony La Russa doesn't mind keeping his kid in the lineup against left-handers, and he's the only left-handed hitter in the lineup for Tony La Russa. Stacked with right-handers tonight against Doug Davis.
Cut fastball, got him. It was high in the zone, but effective nonetheless. High cutter, strike 3.
Well, the high cutter up and into John Rodriguez, much more successful than the high fastball that Ben Sheets threw to him at Busch Stadium. He golfed that one out of the ballpark. Not a bad pitch, but up and in that time for Doug. Not able to get any wood.
Take a look ahead at our upcoming television schedule. We'll be with you against Cincinnati here at home, and then we'll take you on the road next week to Colorado. Looking forward to that trip. It goes 3 in Colorado, 4 in Houston. We'll have 3 of the 4 in Houston as well. Ned Yost making it clear that he goes day by day, or one day at a time, as we told you. But you can't help when you're sitting in our chair or your easy chair at home to think about that Houston series. You just hope that Milwaukee plays good baseball leading up to it.
Well, and that's the thing. I mean, you got to play well before you get to Houston. I mean, that's in a couple of weeks, at least the next weekend. But again, when you talk to Ned Yost, you learn very early on in your relationship with Ned. Don't talk about tomorrow. Don't talk about the next day. You can ask him questions about the game tonight, and that's it. He won't have an answer for you day to day.
Hector Luna, Rule 5 pick for the Cardinals, has continued to stay with this club. Very talented utility player, can play in the outfield. Won't hurt you at any infield position as well. Perfect guy to have on your bench. Lines that one into left center field. A base hit for Luna.
Yeah, just getting ready to say he handled the fastball pretty well, and Doug Davis threw a fastball middle in on a 1-2 pitch. Not where he wanted it. He tried to get it inside, didn't get it in far enough, and Luna hit it hard right back through the middle.
So Davis now thinking about a ground ball out with Mahoney. He rolled into a double play last night. Cardinals catcher skidding right now 0 for 14 over his last 14 at-bats. And he takes strike 1.
And one of those guys that's in that lineup because of his defense. I mean, I haven't seen a better arm this year than the one Mahoney has shown in this series so far. 2 very good throws to second base last night. Handles himself very well defensively behind the plate, blocking the ball. Receives the ball very well. Start to hit. The Brewers are giving him every opportunity to get going.
There's that high fastball, that four-seamer we told you about, and it's fouled off. The defending National League champion St. Louis Cardinals. They are defending right now their crown very admirably. 29 games over the 500 mark, 70-41. A balk is called on Doug Davis. The home plate umpire there, Angel Hernandez, said that lead leg stepped home. He pointed to his leg, and now Ned Yost would like a reason. And that is high. Go! And it just got lost. And I can't say that I blame him. We had to look at it in the truck. And we're going to show it to you one more time.
Ned Yost is saying that ordinarily that's the first base umpire's call, but Angel Hernandez took it upon himself to make that call. On a couple of occasions, Angel Hernandez has already given the Cardinals the benefit of the doubt on that high strike to Brady Clark. And very rarely will you see a call like that from a home plate umpire. Ordinarily, if it's a balk because of a step from a left-handed pitcher, it's going to be the first base umpire. But Brad Fairchild didn't think there was anything wrong. This is the umpire that ordinarily makes this call, but Angel Hernandez was the one that did it. I mean, nothing really out of the ordinary, and Angel Hernandez, the home plate umpire, already establishing himself as the controller of this ball game. Wow. And that's what Ned Yost was upset about. He wasn't arguing the fact that Doug didn't step in the proper fashion. He was wondering why the first base umpire didn't make the call, because that's who normally makes that call 99 times out of 100.
Runner going to third, swung on a miss, throw down, got it. He just made the third out at third base. Not so smart. Ned Yost has been ejected from this game, arguing a balk call made by the home plate umpire. That also ties into last night's balk on Matt White, which wasn't. The balk called on Doug Davis has Ned Yost ejected from this ball game. We're going to give you a couple of looks at it one more time.
Well, again, it's not an issue whether Doug Davis steps toward first base or not. It's more of an issue of why Angel Hernandez, the home plate umpire, elected to make the call when the first base umpire didn't see anything wrong with it. That's a balk. There you see it. And normally the first base umpire is going to call that play.
Carlos Lee drives that one deep left field. It's down. A single for Carlos as the Brewers answer back. Bill, you also noted something else as that balk was called on Davis, that the call in Ned's mind made by the wrong umpire in that scene, and also Hernandez immediately aggressively defensive.
Well, and again, Ned Yost wasn't even halfway out of the dugout when Angel Hernandez pointed at him and saying, just get back into the dugout. I don't want to hear it. Perhaps it's a bad day on the golf course for the home plate umpire. There he is right there. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Just stay back. And this is a very quick ejection for Ned Yost. What did he say? I'm not sure. But apparently Angel Hernandez didn't want to hear anything from anybody.
So you can't get out, you can't come out. Ned was passionate, no doubt about it, but you can't come out and get an explanation, I guess.
I guess not. You can't argue with the umpire tonight.
Jenkins takes high, and again, folks, what we're talking about is that 45-degree angle. If you draw a line from first base to the rubber, draw a line to home plate, that's 90 degrees. In the middle is that 45 degrees, that step. The first base umpire can clearly see that. And that's why Bill makes the point that he does. As that wild pitch advances Carlos Lee.
It's not very often you're going to see an umpire call a balk on a left-hander on a play like that not that he can't. I mean, there's other things that a pitcher will do that is, you know, is really classified as a balk. The home plate umpire can see, but that's a tough angle for the home plate umpire. Got to step over in that direction, and a lot of times the umpire is zoned in on something else.
1-2 the count on Jeff Jenkins, the hottest of all Brewers, the hottest of all National Leaguers, as he fouls that one off. Since June 18th, 390 is the batting average for Jeff Jenkins, and he's driven in 33 runs, and you always point to the home runs and the RBIs as well.
Well, the home runs, and most of those coming to the opposite field, center field, around toward left center, and all of a sudden Jeff Jenkins, that's his power, and you know, we saw that with Jim Edmonds for many years.
Roller, middle of the diamond, on a backhand for Zelanic to throw in time. Jenkins with that out moves the runner to third, trying to tie this game.
That's a good out by Jenkins. If you're going to make an out, advance the base runner. That's what he did. Good job, Jeff Jenkins. Really trying to cut down on his swing with 2 strikes to advance Carlos over to third base.
Rich Dower, bench coach, acting manager.
Jeff Jenkins well balanced in that back leg. The foot comes down and then the swing. A lot of times Jeff will get in trouble when he starts to swing before the foot comes down.
And an opportunity for Bill Hall. Infield coming in last minute for the Cardinals, and Hall takes inside. Whether that is by design or not, the Cardinals started about 3/4 of the way back. And working from the stretch, Reyes, they came charging in at the last moment.
A lot of time Rich Donnelly will tell the runner at third base, depending on where the infield is positioned, whether they're going to go on contact or make it go through.
So that's why you do that.
What the Cardinals would like to do, they start with the middle of the infield back, and then they rush in to, you know, to see if they can cut down that base run.
When there's a party in section 232, Bill Hall does a very nice job hitting .500 on Buckethead Tuesdays. Infield all the way in now, and it's belted high and deep to left field. Good bye. Around for everyone wearing the denim blue t-shirts.
On you?
No. Just drink up.
Well, you talk about getting all of one. Bill Hall, fastball up and in. He watched it, flipped the bat, and off around the bases he went. So the Brewers now with the lead. Well, he got all that, baby. About 7 rows up in that second deck. My goodness.
And it's Mardi Gras out in section 232 on Buckethead Tuesdays. He is now 9 for 17. Home Tuesday nights. You want to look at it another way, that's what he does every home Tuesday.
Well, Bill Hall with the night off last night. Even Russell Brandon started at third base. Well, he took advantage of it there. I should say Wes Helms getting a start at third base. Sometimes the night off will really pay dividends for a player. And so far in the first at bat for Bill Hall, it certainly did.
Brewers lead the Cardinals 2-1. Number 15 for Hall. Brandon fights that one off, broke his bat there. Eckstein puts it away, and there are 2 outs.
Not too many guys can jump on a high fastball like Bill Hall. Ricky Weeks, a very good fastball hitter, but he likes it down more than does Bill Hall. Interesting in yesterday's ball game with Wes Helms breaking a couple of pitches down in the strike zone. This time Bill Hall, a high fastball, hitting it a ton, so the Brewers have the lead.
And you may see occasionally now against a guy who is, you know, maybe known as a true sinker ball pitcher. Maybe Wes gets a look that night. You go back to the classic fastball pitcher, maybe Billy in there. Method to the madness you might have tapped into.
Yeah, well, it worked too, didn't it? Not to say that Ned did that on purpose, but Wes Helms a much better fastball, low ball hitter than is Bill Hall. Bill Hall better high ball hitter.
Milwaukee leads at 2-1 thanks to Billy Hall. I thought it was great,
But it's blue.
Now, the one thing they tell us about young Anthony Reyes, and it's no surprise Mark Pryor handles the bat well, is that Reyes can handle the bat very well. And we say that as for a pitcher, obviously. Boy, all kinds of emotions already tonight.
Yeah.
I'm having a blast.
Now you get fired up when Ned gets going, don't you?
I do.
Gets thrown out. You get into it. You take it personally, don't you? That was an awfully quick ejection tonight, though.
It is hot everywhere, and I don't know if Bob Brainerd can help us with that or not. Bobby?
Darren, as you know, if you come to the Buckethead Brigade, you get the ticket, you get the T-shirt, you also get all the heat and humidity you can eat. That's free. That's free of charge. That's part of your ticket. So we're not like Jason Isringhausen of the Cardinals, where you can buy fans for the bullpen, but I'm taking care of them. I'm cooling off the fans tonight.
Wow. Oh, he's got a bit. Look at this. What's going on out there? Bob Brainerd cooling off the fans in the Buckethead Brigade. That is awesome. Now that's, I hope that's not pesticide.
Yeah, I mean, that's the kind of a thing you spray dandelions with. I hope he cleaned it out pretty good.
Well, those guys kind of look like a dandelion. Just a little bit. I mean, resembled one that I had in my backyard a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, we could have used that thing out at the grill out there today. I want to thank Jimmy Jackson from Jackson Grill for providing a lot of that food. That was outstanding.
David Eckstein into center field, base hit. Eckstein tried to bunt his way on and was erased back in the first. He is 1 for 2 tonight. Eck has got 8 stolen bases. He's been caught 6 times. So similar to Brady Clark, I think you would say. He's a threat, not a huge one, though.
Yeah, not a base burner. He will steal a base if you don't keep an eye on him, but he is on base a lot. Good contact hitter, as you talked about. He'll walk. Figures out ways to get on.
And Angel Hernandez on that pickoff throw hopped from behind home plate to keep an eye on Doug Davis. Davis fired over to first. Eckstein bouncing around, has the eye of Doug. Very deliberate. He fires over again. Maybe I just haven't watched enough. I think I have. But I have rarely, if ever, seen a home plate umpire that focused on a left-handed pitcher's move.
Well, you know, the Brewer left-handers are starting to get a reputation around the league. Chris Capuano, Doug Davis, both with pretty good moves. Davis's move continues to improve. And the word spreads about moves like that. I think that as these guys continue to pick runners off, first base coaches are going to put the bug in their ears. The umpires are going to be aware of it a little bit more. It's all Capuano's fault.
We're having a great move.
Yeah.
Little roller right side. Weeks flips the Hall on to first. Double play. Well, that'll cool off the Cardinals offense, no doubt about it. That'll cool them off immediately. The Brewers try to get their offense heated up, and they look to Brady Clark and Ricky Weeks. The Brewers try to add to a 2-1 lead. Anthony Reyes goes back to work against his counterpart, Doug Davis. And he fires strike 1. The rookie tonight make his major league debut after going 7-4 in AAA Memphis. Davis handling the bat very nicely this year. He's got 7 hits and 49 at-bats. 3 RBIs as well.
Man, if you talk to Ned Yost, he would, rather instead of having those 7 hits, drop those bunts down when he has to. Does continue to have problems with that. Tough to handle that fastball up around the neck.
Big Brady Clark fan out there as Brady makes his way toward home plate. You don't really care who they are or what they look like as long as they support you.
Needs to put on some weight.
That would go well in Southern California in the carpool lane, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Let's get you right on.
That wouldn't count.
Really?
No.
Brady Clark. Unbelievable stop by Seabold. A little bit of skill and I think a little bit of luck. Threw his glove out by his side, gobbled it up nicely.
It's all reaction, almost self-defense. I'm not sure if Seabold caught it or it caught him. There it is right there. A little short hop. Nicely done. Well, last night was Abraham Nunez playing a very good third base. Tonight, Seabold. It takes more than one player to replace Scott Rowland.
And in many levels, many levels, irreplaceable. So Brady is erased on a shot as Ricky Weeks takes strike one. Well, the Brewers obviously did some damage first time through. Carlos Lee with a single, Bill Hull with a two-run homer. But I think very important now to keep an eye on Milwaukee the second time through, as they get one more look at this man making his major league debut.
Now you can read a scouting report. You can look at film. Not sure how much film there was on Reyes for the Brewers today, but there's no replacing her. You really can't see what his ball does at approach home plate, the release point. Got to face him a couple of times before you really understand what he's got out there.
1-2 the count on Ricky Weeks. Brewers lead it 2-1. Reyes 23 years old. And Weeks goes down on a good hard fastball, 95 miles an hour. And he sets the Brewers down 1-2-3. Brewers on top 2-1. Tonight's Aflac trivia question is, since '51, which two players in the history of baseball drove in 100 RBIs and hit less than 10 home runs in a season? Very good question. We touched on that last night.
And we didn't touch on it. We gave the answer, I believe.
So,
Tommy Herr, Tom Molitor.
there you go.
I think those are the two.
And we're about to find out, Mr. Smarty Pants, if you're right.
Smarty Pants, huh?
Takes it inside, 1-1.
You know, I've been called a lot of things, but I haven't been called that lately.
How about when you were 7?
Oh, yeah. Not in school.
Albert intentionally walked. And there's a reason. He makes a run at that Triple Crown just like Derek Lee. 341 obviously ranks him third in the home runs, RBIs, amongst league leaders as well. And he takes outside. Triple threat for the Triple Crown.
And it's going to be tough for Albert Pujols to keep up with Andrew Jones in that home run race. Andrew Jones hitting him seemingly at will this year. What a year he's having. 35 home runs for the Brave center fielder. Of course, Albert only 4 behind him.
7 for 14 with 2 home runs and 3 doubles against Doug Davis in his career. And he takes ball 4. He walks again.
Now, to Albert Pujols' credit, he's taken the walks. The Brewers walked him 3 times in yesterday's game, twice already tonight. They can get frustrating for a hitter like Pujols, particularly when a lot of the big guns out of the lineup. He's very disciplined up there at the plate, will not chase.
And Albert immediately chats up his old Midwest League opponent, an Arizona Fall League teammate, Lyle Overbay. Good pitch to Mark Grizzolonic for strike 1. That was last year. It was high praise from a guy who was already tearing up the National League when he told all of us here in Milwaukee, you will love Lyle Overbay and the way he goes about his business.
And he was right.
Change up, strike 2. Lyle Overbay bobblehead night. coming up on Saturday night. We ran into Lyle today in the media room, signing a lot of the autographed bobbleheads, and some of you may be lucky enough to win. That was quite an effort for Lyle.
Yeah, 100 of them.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. Pujols trying to grab an extra base. He does. Boy, nice job by Albert Pujols.
Yeah, how about that? Heads up by Albert Pujols. He's not just a guy that hits home runs and drives in runs. He hustles. Anticipates extremely well. Very good base runner. Throw that cut fastball down in the dirt. That was actually, it looked like a curveball that time. Chad did a nice job blocking it, but no chance to get Pujols. He got a great jump off the bag at first. Good anticipation.
So 1 out, runner in scoring position for Scott Siebel. Brewers must have seen enough of Siebel. They are certainly setting him up properly, playing him to shift, big shift on the left side of the infield.
Yeah, have him shaded the pull just a little bit on the infield. They've got J.J. a little bit, or I should say Bill Hall, pretty much normal shortstop position, but Ricky Weiss pulled around over the bag a bit. Straight up in the outfield.
Fly ball, very shallow center field. Brady coming on, and he makes the play. So 2 outs now for John Rodriguez. Rodriguez struck out back in the 2nd inning. 8+ seasons in the minor leagues. Started it up in 1997 and all the way up until the midway point this season. All that time in the minor leagues. Native New Yorker. Did a bulk of that service time in the Bush Leagues with the Yankees organization. Right now in the crosshairs of Doug Davis. Nice job blocking that one up by Chad Mulder.
Yeah, players can spend an awful long time and get buried in that Yankee organization that seems to be more willing to get free agents and maybe trade off their prospects. It's going to happen at a better time for Rodriguez, getting an opportunity now with the Cardinals. He's got a nice swing. We talked about that home run that he hit off Ben Sheets earlier this year at Busch Stadium. High fastball, tomahawked it, hit it a ton to right.
And another good job by Chad as he looks that one into his catcher's mitt.
The conversation here is you don't want to lose Rodriguez, the only left-hander in the lineup, but have to face Luna, who's already got a base hit tonight. Want to make sure they're on the same page. Margin of error not too good, or not too wide for the Brewers in this series. You know that the Cardinals are going to come out swinging. Got to get the out, particularly the bottom of the order. They weren't able to do that last night.
2-1 the count, just below the knees. A run on 3 hits and no errors for the Cardinals. 2-2-0 for Milwaukee. Those numbers very complimentary and surprising for a man of that little service time in the major leagues. Evens things up at 2-2.
Tells you why he's the only left-hander in that lineup, right? Take the ball to the opposite field, try and drive to the left, particularly that cut fastball. But Doug able to get him out inside his first time up.
Gentleman had 4 grand slams this year alone. Hit .485 in the minor leagues with runners in scoring position this year. Rolls that one out toward Lyle. Over base, flips to Davis, covering in time for the out. Hold on to your hats, folks. Big offense coming. Lyle Overbay gets it going. Gets set for Saturday night. Carlos Lee rolls it out in the red hot. Jeff Jenkins. All right, let's answer that after trivia question. A good one. Question is, did Smarty Pants get it right? 100 RBIs, hitting less than 10 homers in a season. I removed that name officially. Tommy Herr and Paul Molitor. Yes, he did get it right.
Isn't that amazing? That's hard to do. I mean, Tommy Herr you can understand because Busch Stadium at that time, very difficult to hit home runs. But Paulie did it in the Metrodome. And the ball flies out of that place pretty good.
Trivia time comes every night. 1-1 the count on Lyle. Down the line, that one is foul toward that target.
I guess as long as you get a foothold from somebody in the stands, you're all right. Right? I mean, is that the rule?
You got to have a buddy. You know, it's the buddy system. What is it Hillary said? It takes a village. Takes a small village to get a foul ball, and it takes a good fastball to get Lyle to chase, and he did. Good, lively fastball. Here's a thought, Bill. It's got deceptive giddy up on it, too. Gets up on you quickly.
It does. He hides it pretty well. Kind of a short armor, if you will. Hides it pretty good, and that ball just bursts on you pretty quickly, jumps on you, as you talked about, and he finishes it very nicely.
Carlos singled and scored back in the second inning, and he takes a curveball. That's a pretty good one. 0-1 the count. In his last 18 games at Miller Park, Carlos has just 2 home runs. And prior to that, he had 3 in a series against the Cubs. Trying to find the long ball at home. 1-1.
That's a nice breaking ball right there. Carlos looking fastball, slipped the curveball right by him.
Outside, 2-1 the count on El Caballo. Agua Dulce, Panama, the home of Carlos Lee. 3-1 the count. And that is the other home of Carlos Lee, El Caballo's corner, as he gives back to this community. Purchasing a large allotment of tickets.
That's awesome.
Couple of hops, it goes out to Grizzolonic, and that is the second out of the inning.
Is that new? Was that where last night?
Nope, that's brand new today.
Well, Friday against Cincinnati, the first 15,000 fans 21 and older will get a Brewers adjustable cap. That's compliments of Miller Lite and the Miller Brewing Company. I like it. Look at the C. Is that awesome or what? Well done.
El Caballo galloped into town on that Pasednik trade. Jenkins trying to go the other way. Out to third. Seabold puts him away. That is 8 in a row sat down by Anthony Reyes. Tonight for the St. Louis Cardinals, Doug Davis says doesn't matter who's in there, they know how to hit.
1 through 9, even their hitters, I mean, even their pitchers can hit, you know, just as well. So, you know, there's really no outs in that lineup that you can just say, oh yeah, well, you know, I can walk full house to get to this guy, because any guy in that lineup can, you know, either take a yard or you know, hit a double in the gap.
And you're talking about the best pitching team in the National League and the best hitting team. No surprise, they have the best record, averaging over 5 runs a game, and that backs up what Doug says. And hitting is very contagious, like we saw the Braves do earlier this year, a team that Ned Yost called, along with the Cardinals, 2 of the elite teams in the National League. Yeah, they can plug in, Bill, some different names because it just becomes contagious.
Kind of makes you wonder why they're so good. They give up the least amount of runs and they score the most amount of runs. I guess that tells you why. They're 30 games over 500. I mean, this game's not tough to figure out, is it?
Not when numbers are like that.
Hey, you pitch well, you hit well, you're going to win. And they play very good defense. We talked about their defense, #1 in the National League. An overlooked stat quite a bit in baseball. They're tied for the lead in double plays, turning double plays, and that's what you're talking about right there. 270 team batting average, and they're 4th in homers.
Two and 2 the count on Hector Luna out of Monte Cristi in the Dominican Republic. And Rule 5 pick ended up as a Cardinal in December of '02. Rule 5 again. Out of the Indians organization, snatched up. Matter of fact, 2 years in a row, the Devil Rays grabbed him, sent back to Cleveland, and then the Cardinals grabbed him. They held on to him. And he is walked to lead things off. Well, it is Wendy's Wonderful Kids tonight. For more on that, Bob Rayner.
Well, guys, yes, it's called Wendy's Wonderful Kids. Now, you may remember it by a different name, the Dave Thomas Foundation. Well, it's really basically the same thing. And the bottom line is that it's Wisconsin's effort, and now across the country, to help find homes for adopted kids. In fact, look at this on cue. We have some folks here. This is Paul Thompson as the Brewers turn the double play. Paul Thompson, if you want to jump in real quick. Paul Thompson is the CEO of Bridgman Foods, works with Junior Bridgman of Wendy's Foods. Tell us about the program. It's called Wendy's Wonderful Kids. Different name, but same results, right?
Yeah, just trying to give back to the community. Two things that Dave really believed in was giving back to the community and that every child should have a home. So, I mean, it's our way in the community to really sponsor what Dave was for and really what Wendy's for. And we really appreciate, you know, everybody dropping their change into the boxes when they're at Wendy's. So it's a good program, and we're trying to give back to the community.
And those boxes you mentioned, Paul, are also around the ballpark, so fans can do that here as well.
That'd be great. You know, every little penny helps.
And Colleen Ellenson, Colleen, you've been with us before. Tell us about the numbers, because it's all about the numbers. What's the goal of this program?
The goal is that 10,000 children in the United States find a family in 5 years. So phenomenally, we're going to be starting out in Wisconsin, working at about 20 children. 20 kids who've been like teenagers, sibling group, so the hardest kids to find a home for. That's going to do it.
And Colleen, that's the goal. How are the results?
We're just starting. We're 2 weeks into our project, so this really is to celebrate the kickoff.
It's just kicking off, guys. Paul, Colleen, thanks very much. Good luck with the program. It's a great program. Wendy's Wonderful Kids. And, guys, it's always all about the kids.
Yeah, nice job, Bob, catching up with those folks. We appreciate them coming on board with us. As Doug Davis continues to work. Meantime, we had a good defensive play to eliminate Luna, the little lead runner. Sorry about that. Mahoney reached. What's swirling around in my head, though, Bill, and I couldn't wait to get a chance to get the floor back, is that those moves the same as earlier in the game for Doug Davis.
Yep. It appears that they're pretty much the same, but according to Angel Hernandez, Davis did something a little bit different early in the game.
Jeff runs out of room.
It's a very subjective thing, the calling of the balk or not. It's all dependent on how each umpire sees it. There's really no rule of thumb as to what they're trying to look for. Chad Fairchild hasn't had any problem with that move all night. On only one occasion has Angel Hernandez.
Anthony Reyes, the pitcher tonight, making his major league debut. As we were told, handles the bat very well, as that one is high.
And lost in a lot of that early in this inning was a very, very good defensive play by Bill Hall. That ball almost ended up in center field. Not only did he get the out, almost turned the double play. That's just how good of an athlete Bill Hall is.
2-2 the count. Driven toward right. Jenkins easing back. And a little more shallow with the pitcher out there, and there are 2 outs. You know, and again, it brings us back to a subject that we talked about a lot last night with Brady Clark sharing with us the importance of his bat, how he likes balance in his bat. He must have balance in his approach. You cannot have a good pickoff move if you're not athletic and you don't have outstanding balance as a pitcher.
And particularly if you have one of those moves that can be construed to be either a balk or not. One of those gray area moves like Chris Capuano has, maybe shifting his body a little bit toward home plate if he does or not. That's what you're talking about. A lot of left-handers will balance on that back leg and wait for the runner at first base to commit, and they'll either go to home or throw it to first base.
1-0 the count, 2 outs. That one misses low to David Eckstein, 2-0 the count. Brewers lead the National League in picking off opposing base runners. Doug Davis has allowed 4 stolen bases this year, and 4 have been caught stealing. Outstanding. The count is 2-1 on Davis. And of course, you talk about getting the attention of umpires, doing a good job holding runners and pickoffs. 1 and 2 in the National League. Cappy with 10, Doug with 5 pickoffs, that is. I found it interesting what you said, Bill, about those numbers standing out and those moves standing out. Obviously, you're maybe under the watchful eye a little bit more of umpires, but it would seem that it should not be the goal of an umpire to cut down someone's success factor in that area.
Yeah. Well, the Brewers have only been caught for 4 balks before the game, 5 now. Now the Houston Astros have been called for 8 balks, as have the Philadelphia Phillies.
Got him looking for the 2nd consecutive night. The man who's one of the toughest to strike out in big league baseball has struck out looking. Doug Davis rolling along with 5 solid innings. And he sits down the edge. Oh, what the heck. These Brewers as they lead it 2-1. Bill Hall, who homered in his last at bat, drives another one toward the track. This time to right, and he is erased 1 away. You always find yourself with guys like Hall, as they continue to grow as a major league hitter, Bill, following even a couple of games after an at-bat in which he hits a home run, maybe they go out of their approach a little bit. Nice to see him drive onto right.
Well, and I think Bill Hall, I think he's developing as a hitter, thinking a little bit more about what he's going to do up there and have a plan. Ned Yost is always talking about having a plan up there. Butch Weiniger trying to instill in these guys that you just don't go up there and look for the baseball. Bill Hall hit a home run on a pitch up and in. Where does Bill Hall anticipate the Cardinals, pounding him the 2nd time up away? So they pitch him away and he hits it away. Just can't go up there with the same thought every time. If you have success inside a couple of times, they're going to do something else. Try and anticipate that.
And an off-speed pitch runs it to 1-1 and 1 out. That's where that man and his influence comes in. Butch Weiniger, hitting coach for the Brewers.
Just another example of the Milwaukee Brewer coaching staff just really trying to pound home a general philosophy, and it took a while for Butch to get to him this year, but finally starting to pay dividends. The offense is up. The walks have been very good this year. 2nd in doubles, 4th in homers. Not a whole lot more that guy can do.
And I tend to think when you take a superstar, your guy who is supposed to be your guy, like Jeff Jenkins, he starts to carry the team like he is as Branyan swings over the top of a changeup. Bill, I think when that happens, everyone else falls in a line a little bit more, and they don't try to come out of their skin. They realize, okay, Jenkins and Carlos, they've got us. They're the big guys. I just have to be myself.
Yep, and don't try and do too much. I mean, it's an overused term in the game of baseball, but it's so true. I mean, you take a guy like Albert Pujols, you look at Barry Bonds, what he's been able to do in his career. If they're not going to throw you strikes, leave it up to somebody else to drive in the runs. The walks have been up this year for the Brewers. They're currently 6th in the National League in walks. And we didn't even talk about the runs. 5th in runs. I mean, who would have thought that going into the All-Star break? Just have to continue to pound home that philosophy. Butch Weiniger, Ned Yost.
Driven toward right field and deep. Hector going back to the wall. He leaps and he makes the play. Hector Luna with an outstanding play. We saw Taguchi do it in Ride-A-Lot last night. Chad Moeller, another great approach. But Chad Moeller is retired. That is 11 in a row. Set down by Anthony Reyes in his major league debut. Our Toyota game summary. Angel Hernandez. Not making it a very good morning or evening for the Milwaukee Brewers. Ned Yost ejected on the ball call. Ned watches now from the locker room. And then the offense, Billy Hall. Bill picked it up.
Yeah, Bill Hall with a pitch up and in, driving in a couple of runs. The Brewers currently with a 2-1 lead here in the 6th inning. Reds the line. There's that guy again. Still another RBI in the 1st inning.
And Doug Davis goes back to work. Angel in the morning. Juice Newton.
I like it. That's my era right there.
So Taguchi into left field. Carlos will play it on a couple of hops.
Oh, this guy's red hot. He's hitting over 300 since the All-Star break. Getting a lot of playing time with two of their outfielders on the disabled list. You hate to harp on that DL, but I mean, those are some pretty good players sitting down for the Cardinals, at least, for the time being. And these other guys are really picking it up.
Here's Albert Pujols. Walked a couple of times, advanced on the base paths with wild pitches in both occasions. Did not score either time.
It's going to be a little bit more difficult to walk Albert in this situation. First time up, he came up with a man at second and first base open. Led off the 4th inning. I think the Brewers are going to have to go after him here.
No balls and 1 strike to count on Pujols. Big shift they plan to pull in the infield, and the pitch is outside. In this series, he has made contact only 5 times. 3 foul balls and 2 put in play in 7 plate appearances. With a big comma after that to say that the walks have been the main source of Pujols reaching.
Hey, he's been on 5 times in 2 games without a base hit.
A fastball, strike 2.
And one thing you really don't have to worry about is a stolen base in this situation. That's the last thing Taguchi's thinking about. You steal second base, you essentially take the bat right out of Albert's hand once again. And Doug able to get that cut fastball just under the bat of Albert.
He lays off, which you have to do if you want to have a high on base percentage. Pujols, not Bonds-like, but for a guy who's not intentionally walked like Barry, that is outstanding.
Yeah.
He has walked twice tonight. He's also scored 97 runs to comfortably lead everybody in the major leagues. 97 runs scored, and it's August.
Well, he's on base just about half the time. Well, you figure he's going to score some runs. This is the team that scores the most runs in the National League. Why not?
Breaking ball, he hangs in there. And we talk about the walks. We talk about the batting average. One thing important to talk about for Albert Pujols is the fact that he has walked those 65 times. He's struck out 43 times. Bill, power hitters aren't supposed to do that.
No, not in this day and age. Power hitters notoriously striking out 100, 150 times a year. And you see why. He's got such good discipline. He doesn't swing at anything out of the strike zone, or very rarely does he do that. And the fact that he hits the ball all over the ballpark, from foul line to foul line, he doesn't care.
He really wanted it.
Well, they went after him, but still walked him. They got ahead of him 1-2. Couldn't put him away. They tried a variety of different pitches. They tried to come up on him. They tried to cut fastball. But this one, I think, the closest of them all. Just off the outside corner, or was it? Albert Pujols is going to get those calls.
Pitch misses outside to Mark Grizzolani. Very challenging name to pronounce, like Coach Krzyzewski at Duke. Bob Brainerd, I think, has more on that, Bob.
Yeah, if you were wondering, Brew Crew is of Czech descent. And if you're also wondering how many points you get in Scrabble, Here you go. 27. I can't even fit all the tiles on there. 27. Now, Mark, when he first came to the Cardinals, was wearing number 8. He switched to his current number 12. His reason? He says, my name looks better over 2 numbers instead of 1. You go figure that one out. But as soon as he did it, he went 9 for 16, guys, and he's still red hot with the double digits instead of just the 1.
Oh, very good stuff, Bob. Thank you. On the ground, into center field, bakes in. Charging it is Brady Clark. Firing on a round is So Taguchi. It's a tie game. And there's that guy again. He's got 2 RBIs tonight.
He's killing Milwaukee. That's 8 in the series. Only 8 RBIs. You walk Albert Pujols, you walk Jim Edmonds. That was what they did last night. And that fastball right down the middle of the plate. They had him shaded around a little bit over toward the hole. Billy Hall couldn't get there, and the Cardinals with something going here in the 6th inning. I mean, you got to really limit the damage now. You got to, with nobody out, concede the run at third base. You try and, keep it at 2 right now.
Here's Scott Seabold, certainly a double play candidate. They're in on the corners, looking for the double play. They're back in the middle. That's strike 1.
And it's going to take nothing short maybe than a miracle to keep that 3rd run from crossing the plate. You just want to try to avoid the really big inning. There's a guy that started off right there, So Taguchi.
0-2 the count.
Get the strikeout here, then you might be able to go for the double play. You don't want to do it the other way around. A double play will score a run. Of course, the Brewers will take a double play here, though.
Did he? Yes, he did, says Angel Hernandez. Like he was not afraid to call that ball on his own. He didn't get any help again from the first base umpire. He called that one on his own.
I think Angel Hernandez thinks he's the only umpire out there tonight, but it looked like a pretty good call. Could have gone either way. Most umpires will try and get help on that. Not Angel Hernandez, not tonight.
Huge strikeout. Now you just can't help but dream about a double play.
And now you get the double play right of the inning.
Rizalonic single ties it. Lefty against lefty here. And Bill, we talked about different approaches for hitters. Weeks, a rookie, wiggles that bat. John Rodriguez lays it on his shoulder until the last minute. Very, very different than Ricky Weeks.
Well, that's his way of relaxing. And John Rodriguez feels as though he needs to relax. Ricky Weeks feels like he needs a lot of movement. It's not how you start, it's how you finish.
Which again finalizes your point that you make about Ricky. They all end up in a similar position when the pitch comes home.
Yep, they're on that hitting position. A lot of different hitters that all start a little bit differently, but end up in the same spot when they're ready to swing the bat.
Owen outside, 2-1 the count. Doug Davis has induced 12 double play ground balls this year. And by the numbers, he's a bit of a ground ball pitcher. A few more ground ball outs than fly ball outs. On the black, it's 2-2.
Boy, nice pitch. Oh. He shot the corner outside. If he missed there, he would have been in some kind of trouble. 3-1. But it caught the edge. Pitch like that, a ball to Albert Pujols, a strike to John Rodriguez.
2-2 pitch. Popped up, left side, and that one gets into the seats. Certainly, the infielders on their toes, thinking double play. John Rodriguez trying to lift the ball in the air and get that run home. Davis will take a strikeout too. Another 2-2 pitch. Rolled in the hole, base hit left field. It's 3-2 St. Louis. Rodriguez got a pitch to extend his hands upon. He did it, and they were playing him to pull a bit.
No, that was just a nice at-bat from John Rodriguez. He had a pitch away from, went right with it. Bill Hall in double play position. Shade a little bit closer to the bag than he ordinarily would, and just out of his reach. That's just a nice at-bat by John Rodriguez. You let the ball get back into him. He shortened up his swing and into left field for an RBI. So once again, bottom part of the order, getting it done for the Cardinals. And it's not the household name scoring the run.
Mike Maddox, conversation out on the mound with Doug Davis. No one warming up yet in the Brewers bullpen. Davis at 93 pitches as he works here in the 6th inning. St. Louis has played it a pair. That man has walked 3 times tonight. His walk scored in this inning.
Yeah, doesn't even have to swing the bat up there to make an impact in the inning.
Where have we seen that before?
You always have to be aware of where he is in the lineup when he's coming up in an inning. And the Brewers really not willing to throw him strikes in this series. I don't blame him. But the problem remains that the other guys are doing the damage. Not a big surprise that Grzelcyk's getting it done, but so Gucci's been very hot. Rodriguez driving in a run. Last night it was Abraham Nunez. That's what makes him so good.
No balls and 2 strikes to count on Hector Luna. Tony La Russa last year said of Hector Luna, he's one of our best 2-strike hitters. He has a real nice approach with 2 strikes. He's a nice weapon to have in my bag. Let's see what happens here. 0-2. Makes contact for sure. Brady Clark coming in. Ricky Weeks going back, and it's Brady putting it away. 2 outs with the Cardinals scoring a pair here in the top of the 6th.
I think Brady almost caught that baseball standing on the infield dirt. Either playing very shallow on Luna or got a very good jump. That ball was hit pretty high in the air, able to get there. So good hustle by Brady Clark. Much easier play for the center fielder.
And we talked about Rodriguez waiting for 8 years to get to the major leagues. He stands at first. Mahoney, how about 11? 11 years. He hits that one. Diving play. Russell Branyan from his knees. Outstanding play by Branyan to end the inning. But Mark Grzelcyk, though it may be tough to pronounce, with a timely hit along with Rodriguez. Now watch this very closely, folks. We're talking about balks and not balks. Doug Davis earlier in the game called for a balk. That's the one you see clearly. The shadow is the one that was not called a balk.
Now you can see that the one that wasn't called a balk actually stepping a little bit more toward home plate than the one that was called a balk. So that's pretty good work down there in the truck to really prove that, you know, that first balk wasn't a balk. If anything, it was the other pitch that should have been called a balk.
Yeah, that proved it loud and clear, as a matter of fact. Davis has done 6 innings, a quality start for Doug Davis, number 16 of the year. See if his teammates can pick him up.
I didn't even know you could do that. The shadow thing, that's unbelievable. I've never seen that before.
Well, there's a lot going on in the truck that is way over our heads, I think. Don't you think?
I mean, what it is, it's a lot of effort.
A ton of effort.
Well, here's the one that wasn't called a balk. This is the balk move right here. Now watch how much further toward home plate this foot is than that foot. I guess that's pretty much game, set, match, right? Point proven. There it is right there.
So now Wes Helms pinch hitting, 2-2 the count. Helms obviously an outstanding season as a pinch hitter. Got a start last night, drove in and a run, was 2 for 4. But as a pinch hitter, he is 13 for 29. That's a .448 average.
Rich Dower going to the bench early tonight, knowing that I think they know they're going to have to score some runs. Doug Davis's night is over. Had a rough first inning, had a rough 6th inning.
And he draws the walk. Right back after it, Trent Durrington comes on, a little double barrel action. Now, when we have seen this a lot, Trent Durrington runs right away, Bill, and I mean right away. He's done an outstanding job, 4 stolen bases in a very limited role.
Yep, and it looks like the Brewers realize that runs are not going to be easy to come by, so they're going to not only get Wes Helms into the game, take him out and get some speed at first base, so essentially burning 2 position players with nobody out.
Brady goes right after the first pitch. Hops it toward right, and he's erased. Brady is 0 for 3 tonight.
Well, if you figure you're going to pinch run for Trent, put Trent Durrington out there, you at least maybe want to give him an opportunity to steal a base.
He's got 4 stolen bases in 5 attempts. And Brady, in a rare occurrence, is hitless in his last 13 at-bats. Now, what we have seen throughout this season for a guy who is hitting .314 coming in is that won't last for very long. Ricky Weeks is 0 for 2. That pitch misses outside.
And Reyes with a rather deliberate leg kick, a high leg kick, and I would imagine Durrington sees that a couple of times. He's going to take off. Maybe out there trying to read the move. Davey Nelson probably doesn't know much about that move either, or his delivery to home plate. Doesn't take Davey long, though. He'll pick something out, relay it to the runner, and hopefully at some point in this at-bat, Durrington takes off. That's why he's pinch running.
Ricky Weeks, fly ball, well struck center field. Taguchi going back just shy of the track. There are 2 outs.
Now this Saturday against the Reds, all fans in attendance will get a Lyle Overbay bobblehead, compliments of Johnson Controls. 100 lucky fans will win a autograph by Lyle. We know they're going to because we saw him sign them. Call 414-902-4000 for information.
We talk about how Edmonds goes back on the ball so well, so does So.
That turned around the wrong way, but able to regroup and make the catch just shy of the warning track.
Popped up, left side, long run. A very long run for David Eckstein. He slides in front of John Rodriguez. Look how far Eckstein went, really in comparison to Rodriguez.
That's amazing.
Unbelievable.
Boy, oh boy. Almost got there. And for the life of me, I can't understand why Trent Durrington is not trying to steal second base. I mean, David Eckstein on a full sprint, never takes his eye off the baseball. Falls down. Disappears behind the tarp. Look at that uniform. That's the way he likes it. You ever finish a game with a clean uniform?
He better not. They certainly are aware of Durrington, but Helms led off this inning with a walk. Immediately, Durrington trotted out there. Whether it's that he has been unable to get a read, the situation hasn't presented itself, he still is at first.
A little bit easier, or a lot easier to get a read off a right-handed hitter. There's a few more things to key on. The last thing you want to do, particularly with Lyle up, and you've got Carlos on deck, if you don't get a jump, don't go. You don't want to make it out on the bases with Lyle Overbay at the plate with 2 outs. Certainly capable of finding a gap and scoring a run from first base.
Clark went after the first pitch. He didn't get much of a look during that at bat. Now he takes off. The throw not in time. Stolen base finally by Trent Durrington. But it comes with 2 outs. Durrington, as mentioned, 5 of 6 now in stolen bases.
A valuable asset to have coming off the bench, and ordinarily later in the ball game. But as we talked about, Brewers feeling that they need to score runs when they get an opportunity. Particularly off the starter here, Reyes. That bullpen for the Cardinals has been outstanding. That really shortens the game.
Little spin move, looks him back to the bag. Lyle Overbay with runners in scoring position, hitting .247. He's got a runner in scoring position. It's Trent Durrington. Changeup missed.
I guess the only surprise on that list would be J.J. Hardy, wouldn't you agree? And J.J. doing a nice job of runners in scoring position lately.
One of the reasons that he continued to see playing time throughout this season. We'll do it now with the 2-2 count. Now what happens is that average with 2 outs, it goes up a little bit, though. Lyle 11 for 38 with runners in scoring position and 2 outs. Although these Brewers, they seem to get a lot of 2-out hits over the last month. Not early in the year, they didn't do it at all.
He's trying to make contact as deep as that outfield is playing. Look at John Rodriguez in left field. My goodness. Almost at the warning track. Anything to left is going to score a run. And you can't imagine why with a man at second. You can figure why he'd be out there that deep with a man at first. Because the only way you can score a run is with an extra base hit. You know, defenses will do that, but he's very deep for a left-handed hitter with 2 outs and a man at second base.
Runner at second, 3-2 pitch, roller, middle of the diamond. Charging across, David Epstein, dug out by Pujols, he got him. Brewers come up empty. Hander facing Anthony Reyes, making his major league debut. A converted shortstop and outfielder, and he says that I used to hit a lot, helps me a lot more as a pitcher.
Your mindset is, as a hitter, sometimes you think what he's thinking, what he wants to do in certain situations, you know, like especially with the pitch selection. You know, you throw one pitch, it's a ball, and this guy might be he want to hit the ball to the other side of the field. If he's like behind if I'm behind in the count, in fastball count situation, he wants to get a good grip, you know, a good swing at the ball and stuff like that. It does help because you get in his head sometimes a little bit.
Yeah, and sometimes a pitcher who hasn't been up there at the plate, you know, American League or maybe a guy in the minor leagues that doesn't get the bat much, gives a hitter a little bit too much credit. When you hit recently, you kind of know how difficult it is, and you know most of the time hitters get themselves out. Don't give them too much credit, those hitters.
We had a long talk with Julio today. Throughout the next couple of weeks, you'll hear snippets of it. We'll have a feature about Santana on the pregame show, but again, a converted outfielder / infielder, did a little bit of both professionally. And the count is 1-1. And a very animated person, wonderful to talk to. Passion not only about what he does, but about Ned Yost and about his family. That's the final subject we touched on.
Yep, he's had some very interesting experiences. You know, has pitched in a lot of different places.
Nice play, Ricky Weeks.
Pitched over in Japan. He's credited that experience with a lot of his success. And has really been a workhorse for the Brewers this year. Has thrown a lot. How many times Ned Yost has said he'd prefer not to have to use Santana, but Julio's not going to tell Ned he can't pitch. Waited too long for an opportunity to be out there on a regular basis.
That's what he talked about. He talked about the opportunity he has been given here. Totally taking note of the fact that he's not alone. You know, players at times When you watch a Major League Baseball player, you say, well, he lives in his own world. He doesn't understand the realities of his situation. Not this man, and not a lot of his teammates. Popped up, right side, Lyle Overbay toward the camera. Well, he runs out of room.
Yeah, I think sometimes big leaguers, no, not all of them, there are some that I think take for granted their place and the fact that they're in the major leagues and treated extremely well. Don't have too many on the Brewers, though.
1-1 the count. And there's that fastball. Now he makes it clear, Bill, that I still love throwing the fastball. Maybe I learned how to pitch in Japan a little more, but I'm a thrower.
Well, a lot of pitchers would like to throw the fastball if they threw mid-90s as well. I mean, not too many guys do. And not as often as Santana. I mean, the guy comes out of that bullpen throwing heat.
There's the slider, did he? No, he did not. Well, I'd like to see that one again.
Well, finally, Angel Hernandez asking for some help, and I think Chad Fairchild is surprised as anybody. Yeah, he went. Hey, he went. I mean, that's what you get, Angel, for asking for help.
2-2, split-fingered fastball, got it. Santana, outstanding inning. Now, boys, you have one assignment. Get him some runs. Let's do it now.
Carsoup.com's email to Boo from Paul in Oak Creek. Who was the last Brewer to lead the league in RBIs? I think I know that one. I was there, I believe. 1983, Cecil Cooper on his last at bat. And check it out, Cecil Cooper did it twice. Boomer Scott. Actually, Cecil Cooper was traded for Boomer Scott to come to the Brewers.
I love that graphic. And Carlos Lee trying to do just that. He's got 91 to lead the National League. And very quietly, because there's been a lot to talk about with regard to the Brewers, very quietly, Bill, Anthony Reyes, what a major league debut.
Yes, indeed. Throwing hard, throwing a lot of strikes, living up to the billing of the strikeouts and the walks. Has yet to walk a batter tonight.
Carlos Lee drives it into left, got it down off the end of the bat, though, and he is the first out of the inning.
5 strikeouts for Reyes. No walks. That's pretty good. I think he's got to learn how to wear that hat, though.
Let's see, I like that hat.
You like it? I
Yeah,
like
I
the
do.
socks. I like the stirrups that he's got. There's not too many big leaguers wearing those old-fashioned stirrups. I guess those are the fake ones, though. That's all one sock.
Yeah, but he's showing the stripe.
It's still good, though. And just as soon as we say it, there he's done.
Tony La Russa has the left-hander Flores, who pitched so well last night. The right-hander Reyes. What a major league debut for 23-year-old Anthony Reyes. He pitches here into the 8th inning. Outstanding. Or I should say the 7th.
The Brewers continue to chip away at that Cardinals lead of 3-2. Well, you've seen all the fancy wristbands that everybody's wearing. You know, yellow, pink, you name it. They have a color for just about every cause. Well, now the Buckethead Brigade has its own band. There it is. And no cause, no reason, no donation, no money. You get this when you come into the Buckethead Brigade. Only problem, guys, is this replaced the towels that they used to hand out here in the brigade. Could have used those tonight.
Oh, yeah, because everyone was showering, being sprayed with insecticide from your insecticide bucket. With the little bit of a change up there.
I've got one on.
I grabbed one, too, and
you know what? It's the only one of these rubber wristbands that actually fits my wrist. The other ones always turn my hand purple.
Well, you see the numbers. I mean, 2 hits allowed and 6 1/3 for Reyes. The left-hander Flores, Randy Flores, came on, Bill. He was lights out last night.
Yeah, he's outstanding. I mean, he's got a good fastball, throws a slider. He had struck out a couple of batters last night, got Overbay and Jenkins on strikeout. 3 up, 3 down, 7th a night ago.
2 runs, 2 hits, no errors for the home white team. For the gray team, the visitors, 3 runs, 6 hits, and no errors. Jeff lines it. There's Pujols. That's all you can ask for there.
Yeah, he stayed right on it. Struck him out last night, but Jenkins able to stay back and hammer one over the head of, almost over the head of Pujols. If this ball goes over his head, that's probably a double for Jenkins. But look at Albert playing back behind the bag at first, almost knocking his glove off.
Lefty against the righty now. Here's Bill Hall. That one is low. Hall with a home run, a 2-run shot back in the 2nd inning.
Well, this situation right here, Bill Hall just has to take that same approach that he had in his last at bat, not trying to hit the ball out of the ballpark. I think they're going to try and mess around inside on Billy anymore in this series.
Reyes 6 1/3, 2 hits, 2 runs, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts. Davis, Doug Davis, 6 innings, 6 hits, 3 runs, 3 earned, 4 walks, 7 strikeouts. Santana a scoreless frame. Behind Davis, Flores here behind Reyes. That's a changeup, and it's 3-0.
Might have the green light here. Left-hander on deck, Russell Branyan.
All, as we mentioned, crushed that ball to left field. Back in the 2nd.
They're jumping in. I don't think anybody handles the ball up there any better than on the Brewers than Bill Hall.
Fouls that one off, and the count is 3-2. He's got 15 home runs, 48 RBIs. And the bench brigade getting loose on a buckethead brigade Tuesday night. There's that approach you're talking about. Had to take a shot at right that time.
And then with Russell coming up, I don't think they're going to pinch hit for him should Bill Hall be able to get on base. Because of the power, but if they do, it might be Magruder, and if it's Magruder, probably see J.J. Hardy in the ball game at shortstop. So they're both getting loose.
Got him with an off-speed pitch, and again Flores comes in and does a great job for the 2nd consecutive night. On an enviable chance, though, as he fires strike 1 to Albert Pujols. But it makes sense. Ned always makes it clear. They brought you here for a reason. Welcome to the big leagues you're going to play.
Well, you look at the entire bullpen, just about every one of them is a guy that was discarded by another team, given an opportunity, and they are doing a bang-up job. And they will continue to be effective as long as the starting pitching holds up. As long as they're not asked to pitch too many nights of, 4 or 5 innings.
2 strikes on Albert Pujols. Fastball is high. It's 1-2. A lot of respect, obviously, for Albert Pujols. Fellow natives of the Dominican Republic, both. Talking about the focus, Santana told us today, the focus of Pujols. He pops that one to the right side. But over the last few years, being around guys like Brady Clark, hearing them talk about not giving away at bats. What does that mean?
Well, it means keeping constant focus no matter what the score. I think a player will give up an at bat if the score is 7-1 in the 7th, 8th inning. Some guys go up there trying to hit the home run, just trying to pad some stats. But a guy that doesn't give up an at bat, regardless of what the score is, his approach stays constant. And that's very difficult to do. I mean, the tendency is, if you're way behind or way ahead, or even in a situation like Bill Hall was in his last at bat, where 2 outs, nobody on, 1 to hit another home run, you can't do that, and the good ones don't.
That's when Santana was saying about Albert Pujols. Isn't it interesting? You almost get stunned by your success when you're facing Pujols. You run it to 0-2 with 2 really good fastballs, and then 3 off-speed pitches that have missed, and it's 3-2.
Well, just has a very good understanding of the strike zone, and don't think that's one of the major reasons why umpires give him the benefit of the doubt on pitchers that are very close.
Fastball popped up behind home plate, but it's into the seats.
You know, you have a reputation as a hitter of not swinging at pitches out of the strike zone. Umpires realize that. And they figure, okay, 2 strikes, a 3-2 pitch. If he doesn't swing at it, I bet it's not a strike.
Top half of the 8th, Brewers down by a run. Albert steps out. There are players, a lot of them, that pass through our great world that are very talented. The 3-2 popped up high above that infield diamond. It's Bill Hall who says he will make the out, and he does. But very few are able to take that type of talent and parlay it into what Pujols has done. By the way, kudos there to Santana.
Yeah,
he won that battle.
Fans here in Milwaukee, whether it be Brewer fans or Cardinal fans, haven't had an opportunity to see Pujols swing the bat a whole lot in this series. A rarity.
But when you have no Walker, and tonight you have no Edmonds, there is no Rolen. You make the point, Bill, and you've made it several times. That's the one man that cannot beat you.
Man, you know, let somebody else beat you, and last night that happened, and so far tonight, Cardinals ahead again.
Boy, 2 nasty off-speed pitches. Good hard sliders down and away to Grizzolani.
But you know, the thing is, if you lose a ball game and you know you did your best to, you know, avoid being beaten a game by their big bopper, I mean, you can sleep at night. I mean, if you allow Albert Pujols to continue to hammer the baseball against you like the Brewers did early in the year, there's really no reason for that.
And he makes the adjustment, gets the pitch for the 3rd time against by Jenkins. We'll see how they roll it. Jenkins backhands that baseball. I'm thinking Grizzolani stays put, had his eyes on it the whole time. And with 1 out, he goes right into scoring position.
I think Grizzolani hit that one right on the button. I mean, he went down and got that pitch, hit it on a line out there. Looked like the ball skipped and stayed down on Jenkins. He's been all over the breaking ball this series. Home runs, the home run on a breaking ball, the double last night on a curveball from Santos. That one is a slider. And it looked like that ball skipped right by Jeff Jenkins. Probably going to be a double. He is right on the breaking ball.
That scored a double. Santana removed from this ball game. Rich Dower with a smile and a parting shot. He did a nice job, did Julio Santana. Dower out there managing for Ned Yost, ejected earlier in this game. It's 3-2. Grizzolani certainly glad to be back home, even as a visitor. Born and raised here. Oak Creek Little League product, and he certainly remembers as he returns to Milwaukee his childhood here in Wisconsin.
I didn't know what I wanted to be. If I hadn't had 2 other brothers that loved sports, I don't even know if I would have started playing sports. But you know, it was something where, you know, we weren't that well off when we were younger, and we couldn't really go out and see games and pay for the tickets and come watch the Brewers. So we did watch it on TV occasionally, but I was really too move around so much, running around and always outside playing. I didn't really think much about baseball back then.
Just thinking about it now.
Yeah, good job. The brothers of Mark Grizzolani turned into a pretty good career for him, huh? I bet he can afford tickets now.
Well, that's a common story. A lot of folks Save up for a while, for a long, long time, and it's a very, very special, as the Grizzlonics, as a young man, a very special outing.
Yeah.
Left-hander Dana Evelyn goes to work. ERA just a shade over 2 in 9 appearances. Outstanding.
Yeah, did a nice job in last night's ball game. Pitched 2 scoreless innings, gave up a hit, walked a couple. Those were back-to-back walks to Albert Pujols and Jim Edmonds, but able to get out of it.
I had a chance to talk with Dana before the game. He said the biggest challenge, because he was a starting pitcher all year in AA, is that when you feel like, and in his case right now, it's his 4-seam fastball. He feels like he can't command as well his 4-seam fastball. Pretty good job.
That one right there.
But saying that it's difficult to work on it. As a starting pitcher, you certainly can work on it, but if you want to work on it as a relief pitcher, it's while you're warming up, and that's it.
And wore you out in between the lines with a man at second base against the St. Louis Cardinals. You never know when you're going to be used.
There's that same pitch missing outside. 3-2 the count.
And you know what? The one thing, a young pitcher coming up, the manager is going to give you opportunities, maybe, not in a big point in the ball game, but when you continue to have success, you're going to continue to have opportunities like this and get into games more.
Lined into center field. It's down for a base hit. They send the runner on around. The throw by Brady Clark is not in time. And advancing on the throw is Abraham Nunez.
This guy's been a pain in the neck in this series, hasn't he? Big base hit in last night's ball game. They give the Cardinals a lead, and coming off the bench and getting it done. Oh boy, guys like John Rodriguez, so Taguchi, and now Abraham Nunez getting it done for the Cardinals. Brady Clark with a good throw in, hit the cutoff man, but Lyle Overbay elected to let it go through, realizing that another run in this ball game going to be tough, particularly with this Cardinals bullpen.
Everybody's got a job on a baseball field, even when there's a play at the plate. Even the on-deck hitter has a job.
Well, you got to put yourself in position to let the base runner know what to do. That's not exactly the spot you want to be in. You want to be behind first or home plate to give the runner a clear view of what you're trying to tell him. A lot of times an on-deck hitter will get back there and tell the runner to slide either toward the dugout or toward the infield, depending on where the throw's coming from and if it's on line or not.
Rodriguez had his bat in his hand, the bat also of Nunez, and was screaming as the runner came home. 3-0 the count.
Yeah, there are times when even the on-deck hitter has to hustle, and that was one of those times.
That's that fastball he's talking about that he told us about earlier. Mike Maddox comes out to talk with the left-hander. Never has he appeared overwhelmed, though, to make this jump from AA to the big leagues.
Well, Major League dreams come true with the Peapod Brewers Junior Announcer Contest. Kids ages 7 to 13 can sign up to win at peapod.com. Peapod, online grocery shopping and delivery. Well, these are the growing pains of a guy coming up from the minor leagues, turning himself from a starting pitcher to a reliever. That affects the arm a little bit differently, the recovery period. And again, Evelyn, after throwing two innings in last night's ball game, has to come on here in the 8th inning, not as sharp as he was a night ago.
There's another challenge, too, when you talk about making that jump, being a starting pitcher. As you mentioned, every 5 days. Could be 3 days in a row, could be 4. Into center field, another line drive. Boy, taking a long time to pick it up. The base runner there. That time the throw is cut off, and scoring finally coming on around is Nunez. And it's now 5-2. Now, very timely hitting there by Hector Luna. Don't want to downplay that at all, but you youngsters watching, Abraham Nunez committed the cardinal base running mistake. Keep your eye on the base coach. Jose Akinda will take care of you. He had his back to Jose Akinda, and you can't run and look backwards at the same time.
No, you can't. Now watch Nunez. He's at second base. This ball hit right on the button. The second hard hit ball from Luna tonight. He had to freeze the Nunez, and by the time Brady came up with it, not able to get enough on the throw to make a play at home plate.
This one is fouled off by Mahoney.
And check out Nunez. He knows that he's going to be pinwheeled around, running at full speed, and Jose Akinda always has been known as a very aggressive coach over there at third base. And Nunez has played a huge part in this series.
He's always been fun to watch, even as a member of the Pirates. Mahoney rolls that one out to short. There's one, and there's two. And a nice dig by Lyle Overbay. But 2 months to run for the Cardinals. They now lead at 5-2, and the Brewers have an awful lot of work to do.
Now tonight's Tavern of the Game winner is Sports Page in Elkhorn. The Tavern Contact calls the Brewers by 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. You know the number, 902-4572. They will get 40 tickets to a Friday night game in the Miller Lite Beer Pen. This offer courtesy of the Tavern, Lake, Wisconsin, and our great friends at Miller Lite.
And a good read, Bill. I mean, we actually took a break, came back just so you could do that read.
Take another
Tony
break.
La Russa wanted to hear it.
Can I do another read?
I don't know. You made the request.
Right now?
Oh, sure, why not?
All right. Well, on Sunday versus the Reds, I'm going to read it as it's written. The first 10,000 kids 16 and under will receive a Ned Yost mini bobblehead doll courtesy of Century Foods. Call 414-902-4000 for tickets.
All right. Let's step aside. Shall we? 185 wins for manager Tony La Russa. Mark Grudzielanek tells us one reason why.
His communication with the players. I mean, I think you have to have that, and it's instrumental in the clubhouse and on a team that if you want to be successful. And the way he handles the guys is probably the #1 thing that I've noticed the most. How he individually talks to them, how he goes around, how into the games he is during the games, and how much he wants to win. It's really a treat to watch that.
Julian Tavares is on out of the bullpen. Magruder fouls it off, and there within lies one of the reasons, Bill, where I think Ned Yost has so much respect for Tony La Russa. We talked about his experiences at the All-Star game, because Ned Yost values a lot of the same things as what Grudzielanek talks about.
Well, no doubt about it. You know, Tony La Russa, a good tactician. He is very good at managing a ball game, and one of the most difficult things for a manager is to handle the pitching staff, particularly the bullpen. And I think Tony, although he does use the bullpen quite a bit, and he will sometimes drive you crazy as to the number of pitching changes that he will go through, all those guys seem to get enough work to stay sharp. And the fact that he's won so many games has an awful lot to do. I don't know how much it has to do with the communication, but he's had some pretty good players.
Magruder hops off the bench and leads things off with a single.
I don't care how good of a communicator you are. If you don't have good players, good talent, guys that know how to play the game, you're not going to win.
Boy, Chad Moeller gave a baseball a big ride back in the 5th inning. Hector Luna drifted back, and into that wall and took away extra bases from Chad.
That's the first base hit for the Brewers since that Bill Hall home run. It's been a while.
Unbelievable. As Moeller fouls that one off.
Anthony Ray is so efficient that the Brewers only had one runner left on base while he was in there. That was the 6th inning.
Well, when you're trying to start a rally, get a couple of runs, make it a big ball game here. The one thing, Bill, that you must avoid from Tavares, and it's the one thing he wants, putting the ball right here on the ground. That's what he does best.
You can't afford the double play, but with Chad Mueller up there with an 0-2 count, you just want to make contact. You hope you don't get on top of it, but with Tavares with that good heavy sinker, that happens more times than not.
Need a new piece of lumber with Chad Mueller. We'll head back and take care of business there. The month of June, Chad hit 311. The month of July, he hit 294. After having 2 really tough months to open the season, we have seen quite a bit more offense out of the Brewers catcher.
No doubt about that. You knew he was going to snap out of it, but you were just wondering when it was going to be. Chad started to get a little bit frustrated, never really took it out behind the plate. That's why Ned gave him opportunities to get those starts. Still was able to do the job defensively.
There's that ground ball. 6-4-3.
Well, you feel like you've got a good pitch to hit, and you get the barrel out there and hit it hard, but that ball just dips as it gets to home plate. You end up hitting on top of it, and although Chad hit it right on the nose, an easy double play. There it goes, diving. That ball started about just above the knees, ended up below the knees when he made contact, and easy double play. 2 outs for Julian Tavares.
And J.J. Hardy called upon to pinch hit. Like Chad Mueller, J.J. seeing that average climb north. Since the All-Star break, he has 18 hits, does J.J. That's a 286 batting average during that time. Pops that one up. Well, Tavares did his job, and the Brewers come up empty. Telecast is presented by authority of the Brewers, and it may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Milwaukee Brewers. And
FSN North is proud to provide tickets to each Brewers home game. Tonight we welcome Hillside Boys and Girls Club, United Cerebral Palsy. They're in section 416, rows 12 to 15. Welcome to Miller Park, folks.
Justin Lear comes on. Talk about Tony La Russa not afraid to do something that's a little bit creative, that's a little bit interesting, like pinch hitting Jason Marquis. Lear, you see what he has done in 7 games. Marquis, one of the reasons he can really hit. 19 for 59, a .322 average, a home run, and 9 RBIs.
Yeah, that's not bad, is it? Brewers going to miss him in this series, at least on the mound, but not at the plate. It's kind of one of those decisions that Tony La Russa has made in this game that, you're on the other side of the field, and I mean, if you didn't know any better, you'd think this is a bit of a show-up to have the pitcher pinch hitting in this situation.
And lining it into center field for a base hit.
That's getting a base hit. You have John Mabry. You figure you're not going to use Edmonds. Give him a day off. You have the backup catcher, Einhard Diaz, and then John Gall, who got a pinch hitting appearance in last night's ball game. But I don't think the Brewers are thinking that way.
Hall moves over to third. Hardy's short. Well, I would hope not. There's no rule that says you can't use anyone on your 25-man roster in any role. Correct?
No, I didn't say there was. just saying that, you know, you run a pitcher up there in a situation like
What
that.
do you think, honestly?
Well, I don't think it's a big deal, but I mean, I think there are some managers who might make a big deal about that, thinking that Tony's trying to show him up.
That's not the way he manages, though.
I don't really think it is. Just throwing it out there. You just don't see pitchers pinch hitting very often. I don't care how good a hitter they are. And he's not one to, you know, mess with the baseball gods too much, Tony La Russa.
No.
I mean, he plays it pretty much straight down the middle.
Well, you give a guy like that an at-bat, then another at-bat. And maybe Tony La Russa, maybe just maybe, thinking this is a guy that, in a pinch, for lack of better words, if I use all my bench players late in the year into October, I'd like to see how this guy handles this situation. That's the luxury right now that the Cardinals have. It's rare, but they have it, don't they? It was a hit and run. Marquis was on the move.
So you think Marquis might pinch hit in the playoffs?
If you run out of players, he's an option. Bobby Cox, one of the mentors for Ned Yost, would occasionally send up John Smoltz to pinch hit. Smoltz would pinch hit for the Braves, and Cox, like La Russa, not a guy who is a show-up type manager. Very interesting.
He's playing it like, you know, Marquis is a position player. How many guys are going to be involved in a hit and run for that matter? I mean, Marquis taking off. It's a bit interesting, that's all. That's all I'm saying.
Strike one to Taguchi.
I'll just leave it at that. I'm not trying to create any problems for Tony La Russa or insinuate that he's doing anything wrong, but
well, the one thing you wouldn't want to have happen is have a pitcher out there running the bases in this situation and get hurt.
And get hurt, you're right. Maybe get hit by a pitch. And
Marquis is
particularly
scheduled to pitch Friday.
Well, Jason Marquis, a right-handed pitcher, bats left-handed. What if he, you know, what if, hell, you hit him on the elbow? I should say Justin Lair hit him on the elbow with a pitch.
There's the risk involved.
Yeah.
And the risk, I think, even more of a focal point or a focus point than whether or not he was trying to show up the Brewers. There is certainly, Bill, risk, and I think many managers would focus on that risk first, wouldn't they?
First and foremost. I mean, this Cardinal pitching staff is the reason, one of many reasons, why they're where they are right now, 30 games over 500.
Five runs, 10 hits, and no errors for the Cardinals. 2 runs, 3 hits, and no errors for the Brewers. Marquis pinch hitting. Friday's starting pitcher against the Cubs singled, and he is at first.
Jason Marquis now 2 for 5 in pinch hitting opportunities, so this is certainly not precedent.
No.
He's done it before.
He's got himself an extra weapon.
Yes, he does. As if he needs it.
Well, and that goes back to Reyes. I mean, how about the fact that Anthony Reyes, this game is far from over. There's a lot of baseball left to be played, but Reyes on the hook for his first ever big league win in his first ever big league start. And he is, folks, he's going back to Memphis. He'll be going back to AAA after doing what he did tonight. There's no spot for him. This was a one-time deal.
I don't think it's going to be the last time that Cardinal fans or the Brewers are going to see that guy, though. The Cardinals are in the middle of a stretch, I think, 30 games in 31 days.
Just dominating the Central. On a full count with 1 out, Marquis had taken off. And it's ball 4. Pinch hit attempts for Marquis, 2 hits. Albert Pujols against Justin Lear. Lear faces Albert Pujols. And he takes strike one. 6 innings, 3 runs. Quality start for Doug Davis. Quality start number 16 of 25 starts.
And still looking for win number 10.
Well, what a long drought.
Yes, it has. And it certainly pitched well enough to win tonight.
His 9th win came in late June against the Chicago Cubs. Ed Yost has been watching this game from the clubhouse since the 2nd inning. Pujols hits it hard. Hall to a knee. There's one. Weeks couldn't get it out of his glove, but Pujols, not running hard at all, is doubled up. Albert Pujols allowing Ricky Weeks a little extra beat to turn this one over. Chance for the Milwaukee Brewers. It is an opportunity for right-hander Jason Isringhausen to come on. 43 appearances this year, and the Brewers need some runs for sure. The Bucketheaders, they've been quieted down tonight. No fault of their own. The Brewers only have 3 hits in this game. A man who they have never met, never seen, Anthony Reyes, stuck it right to him. It went Flores, then it went Tavares, and Jason Isringhausen charged with another responsibility of closing this one down.
And he was warming up in last night's ball game until the Cardinals added 2 more in the 9th to make it a 4-run lead. He sat down. Al Reyes finished it up. This time a 3-run lead, a save opportunity. 29 out of 32 for Isringhausen this year. He's got nasty stuff.
28,556. 28,556 on hand tonight. Close to 60,000 in the first 2 games. So far, for diehard Brewer fans, very disappointing results. Brewers offense that was alive and kicking has been kicked back home.
Hey, you know, you're coming into this series, you look at it and you say, not this one's over, but you're missing Mark Mulder, you're missing Chris Carpenter. You figure you like your chances. You're not going to have to deal with Jason Marquis. Unfortunately, the Brewers' bats have been relatively silent in the first 2 games of this series.
Backing up on that one is Albert Pujols. He puts that one away. Brady Clark 0 for 4 in the game tonight, hitless in his last 14 at-bats. Out of Brighton, Illinois, Jason Isringhausen. Not far from St. Louis, not far at all. Grew up a Cardinals fan. So Rick Peterson, the pitching coach for the New York Mets on this recent road trip, he is the one responsible for, with his guidance and laying his hands a bit on Isringhausen, helping him convert from a starter to a closer. I think a pretty good job when you look at what Isringhausen has done since making that change. Save seasons of 33, 34, 32, 22, and 47. That one is low to Weeks. 2-1 the count. Cut fastball, strike 2.
Yeah, he'll throw that fastball, you know, low to mid 90s, 91, 95 miles an hour. That cutter they just threw to Ricky that time, and got a pretty good curveball. Really changes speeds well in that curveball, around 80, 82 miles an hour. That'll freeze a hitter.
Turns it around and dives one down under his bat for strike 3. There are 2 outs. Milwaukee with one last chance in the form of Lyle Overbay. Trying to avoid dropping 2 games below 500. Twice in the last week they have evened their record at 500. And then going 0-2 when this one wraps up. It'll be 56 and 58 should they not rally. That one misses outside. So St. Louis, Milwaukee just a touch below 500 in their division.
Well, if you hope to compete in your division, you have to win in your division. Doing a pretty good job everywhere else.
Two and 1 to count. Trying to reach, trying to get something going. Carlos waits, then Jeff waits. Little roller on 3-1. Grizzolani back home in Milwaukee puts Milwaukee away. Making his major league debut, knowing he was going back to AAA just to give the other 5 a rest, Anthony Reyes was lights out. And he is our Potawatomi player of the game.
No doubt about that. 5 strikeouts, did not walk a batter. He gave up 2 hits, both in the same inning. A single by Carlos Lee and then a 2-run homer by Bill Hall, giving the Brewers a brief lead, but outstanding effort by the young right-hander. Not the last time we're going to see him.
28,556 came to this ball game. The Brewers keeping an eye, obviously, on trying to hang in the wild card race. Houston hosting Washington, and they are losing 6-5 in the bottom of the 8th inning. Houston is losing 6-5 to the Washington Nationals. Washington can game a game in that wild card and move to within 1 out. Milwaukee, should that hold up, would remain 5 back, but you don't want to do it losing. There is no doubt about it. Milwaukee loses this one by a score of 5-2. The youngster Reyes, an outstanding job. And for the second consecutive night, and it's happened all season long, Mark Grizzolani knocks the Brewers around, has a couple of RBIs. He's with Bob Brainerd.
Thank you very much, Darren. Mark, I would imagine the strategy tonight is to back up the youngster with some offense, and you guys did that.
Yeah, it took us a little while, and, you know, we just kept them on their toes a little bit, had a couple key hits, and, you know, the youngster threw very well. Reyes threw the ball very well today, made a couple bad pitches, and one was out of the park, but other than that, he looked really good.
You know, for you guys, it's station-to-station running. It's getting the job done. It's not always the long ball. A lot of your boppers are out, but you guys, you played a little small ball, and it pays off.
Oh, absolutely. We can do that also. I mean, it's just not about hitting home runs, and that's why, you know, we're 30-some games over 500. I mean, we play the little things, we do the little things, and, you know, it wins ball games for us.
Congrats, Mark. Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you.
Back to you guys.
Very nice job. I'll take it. I'll take that delicious bass. I would have rather had a win. I don't know if you know what time it is, partner, but it is time for our ExxonMobil game-changing play. It's a new high-endurance oils from Mobil, oil that's changing oil.
Yeah, 1 out, and the Brewers had, you know, an opportunity to get out of the inning with a double play ball. John Rodriguez just out of the reach of Bill Hall. With a man at third base, that was the base hit that gave the Cardinals a 1-run lead at 3-2. They would go on to score a couple of more for a 5-2 victory.
Milwaukee now 2 below 500. We'll wrap her when we come back.
Now, your Midwest Sports Report, presented by Busch Light.
Good evening, evening, everybody. Welcome inside our FSN studios for the Cardinals post-game edition of the Busch Light Midwest Sports Report. I'm Pat Parra.
And I'm Brent Stover. We will recap the game you just saw in a moment. But first, Hot Shot Sports Bar and Grill wants you to know whose Hot Shot's hot. And how about the Major League debut of Anthony Reyes? No surprise. And that's how he started the game. A high strike, maybe a ball, but he gets it. And then later on, he was just very, very good tonight. 6 1/3, 2 hits, 2 earned runs, a walk, and 5 Ks for Anthony Reyes in his Major League debut. And that makes Reyes Hot Shots hot here tonight. You can't ask for much better. A shutout would have been nice, but 6 innings and 2 runs in your first Major League start, pretty darn good.
Well, he's backed up by an offense that didn't look a lot like a Cardinals offense you would think of maybe at the start of the season, kind of a hodgepodge of guys getting the job done tonight. But you can't say enough about Mark Grudzielanek, who comes home last night, 5 RBIs. He gets a couple more tonight. He has really been a spark plug during this time where Brent, quite frankly, this lineup, as I mentioned, looks more like a Memphis Redbird lineup than it does with thrown in Albert Pujols and Mark Grudzielanek and David Eckstein. But it really kind of was a lineup that you wouldn't hope you'd have to go the rest of the way with, but they got the job done.
Yeah, 5 of the 8 position players are Memphis Redbirds, or at least have been for most of the year. You know, Mike Mahoney working alongside of the pitcher, I think that helped out a lot, and Dan and Al mentioned it throughout the game, that it helps when you're working with the guy that's who you've thrown to for most of the season. Mahoney doing a pretty good job as a receiver. By the way, Luna, a rare start, a couple of hits for him. So no matter what button Tony seems to push, the guy always seems to get at least 1 or 2 hits.
And they did again tonight. Joel Goldberg standing by at the scene, brought to you by Ace Mortgage with the hero of the game. Joel, go ahead, take it away.
That's right. What a night for Anthony Reyes. One I am sure to remember for you. All smiles now. There's only one person in the world that knows what this was like tonight. Describe the feeling of being out here, Major League atmosphere, and getting the win.
Yeah, dream come true. I never thought I'd be up here. And I get up here and get a win my first start. I really can't believe it. I think it'll sink in tomorrow morning.
I know you said to me yesterday that it wouldn't be so much nerves, just excitement. But when you do finally get out there, you're in a massive ballpark here, Major League game. Were you nervous at all?
I was a little nervous at first. I mean, like I said yesterday, I just put my hat down low and try not to listen to anything and just concentrate on hitting the glove.
And you get through the first, and really you get through every inning but the second. Tell me what happened on the Bill Hall home run.
I tried to go in on him, threw it down the middle pretty much, and he hit it pretty good.
And the one thing, too, that Mike Mahoney told me yesterday and today was that you don't get too rattled. You're a bulldog out there. So after that home run is let up, your command was phenomenal. How important was that to you just to get back on track?
I mean, once he hit the home run, I just kind of settled down and said I need to start hitting the glove. I can't make any mistakes because these guys will hit it out down here. So you know, concentrate on hitting the glove, and Mahoney kept his glove down low for me today and tried to hit as best I could.
Congratulations, great job, and we hope to see you back here soon.
Thank you.
All right, that is Anthony Reyes. Big smile. He's got a ball in his left hand, Dan and Al. I believe that is the game ball, and the Cardinal faithful right now all giving him a huge round of applause. Guys?
All right, Joel, thank you. Another story as well was Jason Isringhausen picking up his 30th save, and the Cardinals will see Ben Sheets tomorrow, so this game very important for a couple of reasons. Reyes, his Major League debut, and the Cardinals have won this series at a minimum, and will go for the sweep tomorrow.
Yeah, it's a very, very important game because, like you said, you threw out a Scribini lineup behind the rookie, and he did his job, so did his teammates, to get the 5 runs, make it a convincing victory, and he was outstanding in his debut. You just can't say enough about him. He comes out there, you know he has to be a little bit nervous, you're jittery, but you're right. It's the same dimensions that it was down in Memphis. He got the first strikeout of the first batter, settled in a little bit, really pitched effectively. He's got an explosive fastball, but it's that great changeup that keeps hitters off, and that curveball will get better. There was the example of the changeup.
6 1/3 for Anthony Reyes in his debut, and he only allows 2 hits. So the Cardinals look ahead to tomorrow. Ben Sheets going for Milwaukee. The Cardinals will counter with Jeff Suppan.
Well, you know, Ben Sheets is a tough character, but the Cardinals have had some success against him. They're going to go out there and challenge him, and I know Ben will challenge them. But right now, this ball club feels very good about itself. 31 games over 500. You keep on going for increments of 5, and so, you know, nobody can pick up ground on you. They pick up another game on Milwaukee, the Cubs, and whatever happens with Houston.
Another story tonight, kind of just steady all season long, has been Mark Grudzielanek. Had a little dip before the All-Star break, hitting well above 300 since the All-Star break. Comes back home, Milwaukee native, First 2 games, 7 RBIs.
Yeah, 5 yesterday, a new career high. He gets 2 RBIs here today. And, you know, the best thing about it was, you know, like the first one was on a ground out. You know, everybody thinks you have to do it on home runs. I remember Roger Maris talking about he was going to get 30-plus home RBIs on sacrifice flies, on ground outs. And you can score, and that's how the club right now, without 4 of our regulars, is going to have to manufacture runs. They got to move people along, and you got to occasionally score without a base hit.
Yeah, lineup tonight that looked like a mismatch here in game number 2, but the Cardinals win it. Anthony Reyes picks up his first ever Major League victory. We're on the air tomorrow at 12:30 for Al and Joel. I'm Dan. Let's
man roster for Anthony Reyes to pitch tonight. The Cardinals were forced to demote outfielder John Gall. Now Reyes will be optioned right back to AAA tomorrow with outfielder Skip Schumacher joining the Cards for tomorrow's game. That's because the rules say Gall must wait 10 days to come back up.
Comes down to, you know, if you look at somebody like Scott Sebo and John Gall, Scott's got a little extra versatility now with the ability to play a couple of infield positions and outfit if we have to. And then once Anthony's done his duty today, we're going to go back to 13 players and can't bring John back for 10 days, so it has to be an outfielder.
4 of the Cardinals starters continue to be on the mend: Scott Rowland, Reggie Sanders, Larry Walker, and Yadier Molina. Molina is most likely still a couple of weeks away from coming back, but according to trainer Barry Weinberg, he is making progress as Lions Choice presents Be Fit.
We'll get another CT scan on Yadi, which will be post 5 weeks, to see how much healing he's gotten done. And if that comes along good and his pain which is diminishing now, we can increase his activity. So hopefully on the homestand, sometimes he'll be doing some significant baseball stuff.
I think every day it passes, they have a chance to get a little healthier, but probably Yadier is the closest. But the other 3, you're just not going to put any pressure on them. When they get well, they get well.
Reggie's starting to doing some hitting and playing catch, and Larry's going to increase his activity, and hopefully by the end of the trip, Larry will be taking some coach's batting practice. And Scott's just in a mode where Roland's in a mode where he's just trying to get rid of some more inflammation and pain, and then hopefully when we're home, we'll start him on some light field activities.
Tonight's baseball milestone brought to you by your independent tire dealers. On this date in 1999, for the first time in the history of baseball, 5 grand slams in one day. The Cardinals' Fernando Tatis started the feat, followed by the Expos' Jose Vidro, the Marlins' Mike Lowell, the Yankees' Bernie Williams, and the Mariners' Jay Buhner. Your independent tire dealers helping your car reach milestones on the road.
And a move to bolster their bullpen, the Boston Red Sox today acquiring Mike Remlinger from the Chicago Cubs. The 39-year-old lefty heads to Boston along with some cash. In exchange for minor league pitcher Olivo Estacio, Remlinger was designated for assignment last Friday by the Cubs.
They fared tonight, a base hit for Eckstein, and the Cardinals pounded out 10 of them. 2 for Taguchi. Grzelcyk batting cleanup, 2 for 4, 2 RBIs, 7 RBIs in the series for Grzelcyk after 2 games. 2 for 3 for Luna. And there's the line on Reyes. 6 in the third, 2 hits, 2 earned runs, a walk, and 5 Ks with his first Major League victory. Isringhausen his 30th save by closing down the 9th, and the Cardinals get it done. And they've already won the series as we head to tomorrow's finale.
Yeah, they go for the sweep. 12:30 Cardinals tonight, 1 o'clock is Jeff Suppan against Ben Sheet right here on FSN Midwest.
All right, we'll leave you tonight with a Great Clips final cut. Get into Great Clips and go back to school in style. Enjoy. Have a good night.
Melvin Mora dives, stops it. Nice play by Melvin Mora. Graham has been thrown out of the game. Line the right back into mid. Home run number 30. Late jump by Posednik, but he makes a diving play. He reaches up and he makes the grab. Leaps up and makes the catch. Seed, bubblegum, went flying. Coming on, Womack, he does, and he makes the play.